Hey everyone, so Nvidia, I bet you're all here to hear about this.
Yeah.
Nvidia earnings report. Everyone's kind of curious how they're doing,
For sure.
especially with the markets being a little weird lately and,
Yeah.
this whole DeepSeek AI thing coming out of China.
Totally.
Um, so we're going to do a deep dive into Nvidia's latest earnings report and see what it tells us about their position in the AI world.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to be looking at the official press release from Nvidia
Okay.
and also a news article that kind of breaks it down a little further for us.
Cool.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
there's some interesting stuff in here.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating time for Nvidia. They're kind of at the
Yeah.
forefront of this whole tech revolution.
Yeah.
And I think these earnings kind of give us a peek behind the curtain to see how
Yeah.
things are playing out.
Absolutely. So let's get into it and break down some of these numbers.
Okay.
Nvidia brought in a massive $39.3 billion
Wow.
in revenue for Q4. They crushed expectations.
Analysts were predicting like 38.1 billion.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So that's a 78% jump in revenue year over year and a 71% surge in profits.
This is some impressive numbers,
It is?
especially for a company the size of Nvidia.
Yeah.
To give you some perspective, Apple,
Right.
a tech giant in their own right,
Yeah.
recently reported a 4% increase in revenue.
Wow.
So
That's a big difference.
you can see that Nvidia is operating at a completely different level of growth right now.
Absolutely. And it seems like a lot of this growth is coming from their data center unit.
That's right.
They brought in $35.6 billion from that alone.
Wow.
Way more than the predicted $33.5 billion.
Yeah, that's the key takeaway here.
Okay.
This data center unit is where they house those powerful GPUs
Right.
that are essential for running most of these
Yeah.
generative AI models we keep hearing about.
Right.
So this tells us that demand in the AI space isn't just strong,
Right.
it's exploding. Makes you wonder if they've struck some kind of AI gold mine or something.
Well, their CEO, Jensen Huang,
Yeah.
seems pretty excited about it,
Yeah.
especially about their new Blackwell GPU system.
Right.
He went as far as calling the demand amazing
Amazing.
in the earnings release.
Yeah. And it seems like this Blackwell system is
Yeah.
a significant step forward for them.
It is. It's a significant leap forward in GPU technology,
Okay. Yeah.
designed to handle these intense demands of AI workloads.
Right.
It offers a huge boost in performance over their previous systems.
So Huang's excitement is warranted.
Yeah, I'd say so. It definitely signals that NVIDIA is confident in their ability to stay ahead of the curve
Okay.
in the AI hardware game.
So is it all smooth sailing then for Nvidia?
Well,
It seems like there's a lot of success.
not entirely.
Okay.
There was a slight dip in their gross profit margins this quarter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So maybe not completely smooth sailing.
Does that throw a wrench in the whole success story then?
Not necessarily.
Mm.
The CFO explained this dip is partly due to them shifting
Okay.
towards more complex and expensive systems,
Okay.
especially in that data center division we were talking about.
So is this actually a good thing then?
It could be. Remember the Blackwell system we were discussing?
Yeah.
Those cutting-edge systems are more expensive to produce,
Right.
which impacts those profit margins in the short term.
Okay.
But by investing in those advanced systems like Blackwell,
Right.
NVIDIA is solidifying its position as the go-to provider for the most demanding
Right.
AI applications.
Makes sense.
And that strategic move could lead to even greater market share and profits
Okay.
down the road.
So even with that slight dip, their projections for the spring quarter are still really optimistic.
Very optimistic.
They're expecting to hit $43 billion in revenue.
Yeah. Which, again, is more than Wall Street analysts were anticipating.
So they're not sweating that margin dip too much.
Nope.
But what about this whole DeepSeek situation in China? There's been a lot of talk about how this new AI model could kind of shake things up a bit,
Yeah, it's caused some buzz for sure.
potentially reduce the need for NVIDIA's top-of-the-line GPUs.
Right.
We even saw a dip in their stock price recently because of it.
A little bit of a dip.
Should we be concerned?
Well, it's true that DeepSeek has caused some uncertainty in the market.
Okay.
The idea is that if less powerful hardware can deliver similar results,
Right.
it could lead to companies holding back on investing in NVIDIA's high-end
Makes sense.
and more expensive GPUs.
So is DeepSeek a real threat then?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Jensen Huang doesn't seem too worried.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in fact, he argued that spending on AI is actually increasing.
Huh.
not decreasing.
Okay.
His take is that models like DeepSeek might actually expand the AI market,
Okay.
bringing in new players who might have been hesitant before because of the cost
Right.
or complexity.
Okay.
And this bigger market could actually benefit Nvidia in the long run by
Interesting.
driving even more demand for their products,
Oh.
even if they aren't the only game in town anymore.
So instead of stealing market share, it could actually help grow the pie for everyone,
Exactly.
including Nvidia.
But that's just one perspective.
Huh.
To get a clearer picture
Okay.
of the potential impact of DeepSeek,
Yeah.
we need to dive a little deeper into how it actually works.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell me, what exactly is DeepSeek and how does it work its magic?
All right, so DeepSeek is this new type of AI model developed in China.
Okay.
And what makes it so interesting is it's designed to be less reliant
Okay.
on those super powerful GPUs that NVIDIA is famous for.
Interesting.
Instead of brute forcing its way through computations with raw processing power,
Right.
DeepSeek utilizes a more efficient algorithm.
Huh.
It's kind of like finding a shortcut through a dense forest
Okay.
instead of hacking your way through with a machete.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So if it can achieve similar results with less powerful hardware, wouldn't that make it more attractive for companies looking to cut costs?
You're hitting on a key point here.
Okay.
DeepSeek's potential appeal lies in its accessibility
Yeah.
and affordability.
Right.
It could open doors for businesses and researchers
Okay.
who were previously priced out of the high-end AI game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Imagine smaller companies,
Yeah.
startups, or even research labs in developing countries
Right.
suddenly having access to powerful AI capabilities
Yeah.
without needing to invest in all that expensive hardware.
That really makes you think about the bigger picture here.
It does.
If DeepSeek takes off,
Yeah,
it could democratize access to AI in a way we haven't really seen before.
for sure.
Wouldn't that be a double-edged sword for Nvidia then?
Potentially.
I mean, they're currently sitting on top of the world when it comes to AI hardware.
They are.
If DeepSeek starts to chip away at their market share,
Right.
what happens to their dominance?
That's the big question, isn't it? While Huang remains optimistic about AI spending increasing overall,
Right.
there's no denying that the emergence of alternatives like DeepSeek could reshape the competitive landscape.
So they might need to adapt then.
They might.
Maybe focus on even more specialized high-performance hardware
Potentially.
for certain niches within the AI world.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a balancing act.
Okay.
They need to stay ahead of the curve in terms of innovation for their core market,
Right.
but also be aware of how the broader AI landscape is evolving
Right.
and be ready to adapt.
So double down on what they do best,
Yeah.
but also acknowledge that other players might emerge to cater to the
Mhm.
growing demand for more accessible AI solutions.
Exactly.
This brings up another point we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
Those whispers about NVIDIA's stock dipping a bit due to these DeepSeek concerns.
You're right.
What's the overall outlook from analysts?
Yeah.
Are they worried, or do they still see NVIDIA as a solid investment?
Despite the recent fluctuations, the overall sentiment from analysts seems to be cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Remember that average price target of $175 we mentioned?
Yeah.
That implies significant potential upside,
Okay.
even considering the DeepSeek situation.
So Wall Street isn't hitting the panic button just yet.
Not at all.
I
In
hope
fact,
so.
analysts at Bank of America, for example, are quite bullish on Nvidia.
Oh, okay.
They see this earnings report as a potential turning point for investor confidence.
Why is that?
Well, they believe that Nvidia's strong performance, even with the uncertainty surrounding DeepSeek,
Right.
demonstrates just how resilient and full of potential the AI market is.
Interesting.
They see it as a sign that the recent stock wobble is more of a temporary blip
Okay.
than a sign of things to come.
Okay.
They're betting that Nvidia is in a strong position to weather any short-term storms and come out even stronger in the long run.
So they see them as a long-term play.
Exactly.
But to zoom out a bit, we need to consider NVIDIA's position in the overall AI landscape. I mean, they're pretty much synonymous with AI hardware right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
We even mentioned that Morgan Stanley predicted they'll control around 95% of the global GPU market
Wow.
by 2025.
That's a huge chunk of the pie.
It is. That's a huge chunk of the pie.
Uh-huh.
But with that kind of dominance,
Yeah.
you have to wonder what potential challenges might they face moving forward.
That's a crucial question, and it's not just about DeepSeek.
Okay.
One of the biggest challenges for any company that reaches the top
Yeah.
is avoiding complacency.
Right.
It's easy to get comfortable when you're the leader,
Yeah.
and that can stifle innovation.
So they can't just sit back and relax thinking they've got it all figured out.
Nope. The tech world moves fast,
Right.
and what's cutting edge today might be outdated tomorrow.
I imagine competition must be another big hurdle.
Definitely. Well, Nvidia is king of the hill right now.
Yeah.
There are other companies,
Yeah.
big and small,
Right.
constantly trying to chip away at their dominance.
Yeah, we talked about DeepSeek. But I'm sure there are other contenders out there.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe even brewing in stealth mode as we speak.
Absolutely. It's a constant race.
Yeah.
Nvidia needs to stay agile and anticipate the next big thing
Right.
and keep pouring resources into research and development if they want to maintain their edge.
Okay.
But competition isn't the only thing they need to worry about.
Oh. What else?
There's also the increasing scrutiny from governments worldwide
Oh, right.
who are starting to pay more attention to the potential societal impacts of AI
Okay.
that could lead to new regulations
Yeah.
that could directly affect NVIDIA's business.
So it's not just about building the best chips anymore.
It's not.
They need to be mindful of how their technology is being used
Yeah.
and the potential consequences.
Exactly. The ethical considerations surrounding AI are becoming more and more important,
Yeah, for sure.
and governments are trying to figure out how to regulate this rapidly evolving field.
It's tough to keep up.
It is.
As a key player in the AI ecosystem, NVIDIA will need to carefully navigate these regulatory challenges.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about performance and profits then.
Nope.
It's also about responsibility.
It is.
What does that look like in practice for a company like NVIDIA?
Yeah.
How do they demonstrate that they're developing and using AI technology in a way that's ethical and responsible?
That's a great question, and it's something we're going to be exploring
Okay.
in more detail in the next part of our deep dive.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be discussing concrete steps that NVIDIA can take
Okay.
to address these ethical concerns and demonstrate their commitment to responsible AI development.
Sounds good. I'll see you there.
See you then. Transparency is a good starting point.
Okay.
NVIDIA needs to be open about how their technology is being used,
Right.
the types of AI applications it's powering,
Yeah.
and the potential societal impacts,
Okay.
both positive and negative.
So no more operating in a black box.
Yeah. Right? They need to shed some light on their processors and be upfront about the potential risks as well as the benefits.
And also engage with the public.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actively engaging with the public is crucial.
Okay.
NVIDIA needs to address those concerns head-on,
Okay.
build trust, and participate in open dialogues about the ethical development and deployment of AI.
Yeah.
They can't afford to ignore public perception
Right.
and the anxieties surrounding AI.
If people are worried about AI becoming too powerful
Exactly.
or being used for harmful purposes,
Right.
shutting down the conversation will only make those fears worse.
Absolutely. Open communication and collaboration are key.
Okay.
NVIDIA should be working with policymakers, researchers, and advocacy groups
Right.
to develop ethical guidelines and best practices
Okay.
for AI development.
Makes sense.
They can even play a leading role in shaping industry standards,
Yeah.
demonstrating a commitment to responsible AI that goes beyond just profits.
So it sounds like they have a real opportunity to step up and be a leader,
They do.
not just in terms of technology, but also in terms of ethical leadership in the AI space.
Exactly. That's precisely what's needed.
Okay.
By taking a proactive approach to these ethical considerations,
Right.
NVIDIA can help steer the development of AI in a direction that benefits humanity as a whole.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful.
It has been interesting, for sure.
We've covered so much ground, from NVIDIA's incredible financial performance
Yeah.
to the potential challenges they might face,
Right.
and now these crucial ethical considerations.
A lot to unpack.
It's clear that they're at a pivotal point in their journey.
What's so fascinating to me is how NVIDIA's story
Yeah.
kind of mirrors this larger narrative surrounding AI.
In what way?
Well, we're witnessing the birth of a new technological era,
Yeah.
full of potential but also fraught with uncertainty.
It's like they're standing at the edge of uncharted territory.
Yeah, a good way to put it.
And the path they choose will not only determine their own fate, but it could also influence the direction of AI as a whole.
Big responsibility.
It is a heavy responsibility, and the choices they make
Yeah,
will have far-reaching consequences.
no doubt.
So for our listeners who are following along on this incredible journey,
Right.
what are the key takeaways?
Well, the most important thing is to stay informed.
Okay.
This AI field is changing at such an incredible pace.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up.
It is. It's crucial to keep up with the latest developments,
Right.
the new trends,
Okay.
and the ongoing debates.
So don't just rely on a single source of information.
Exactly. Read articles from various sources, listen to podcasts like ours,
Right.
and follow experts in the field.
Get a well-rounded perspective.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions,
Yeah.
and think critically about the information you're taking in.
Be an active participant in the conversation.
Exactly. Not just a passive observer.
And finally, remember that AI isn't just some abstract technological concept. It's something that's going to have a profound impact on our lives,
Sure.
on society as a whole.
Right. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
I agree.
And that starts with having these thoughtful conversations about its potential and its risks.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What are your hopes and concerns about the future of AI?
Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Share your perspectives,
Yeah.
and let's continue this deep dive together.
It's been a pleasure exploring this complex and fascinating topic with you all.
Absolutely. It's been great.
And as always, thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a captivating subject. Until then, stay curious.
So how do they actually show they're being responsible? What can they actually do?
Yeah, what concrete steps can they take?
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
transparency is a good starting point.
Okay.
Nvidia needs to be open about how their technology is being used.
Right.
What types of AI applications it's powering the
Yeah.
potential societal impacts.
Right.
Both the good and the bad.
So no more black box.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
They need to be upfront about what they're doing
Yeah.
and the potential risks,
Right.
not just the benefits.
Okay, so transparency is key.
Yeah. And they also need to actively engage with the public.
Okay.
Address concerns head on,
Right.
build trust,
Yeah.
participate in those open dialogues about the ethical development and
Yeah.
deployment of AI.
Right, because they can't just ignore what people are saying
I mean,
and how
they-
people are feeling about it.
Exactly. They can't ignore the public perception
Right.
and the anxiety surrounding AI.
Yeah, I mean, if people are worried about it, right.
Right.
If people are worried about AI becoming too powerful
Yeah.
or, being used for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
then shutting down the conversation is just going to make it worse.
Exactly.
Right.
Open communication,
Yeah.
collaboration.
Okay.
Those are
But-
key.
So how do they do that? How do they actually,
Well,
collaborate?
they should be working with policymakers,
Right.
researchers, advocacy groups,
Okay.
to develop those ethical guidelines,
Right.
best practices for AI development.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, they could even play a leading role
Okay.
in shaping industry standards,
Right.
demonstrating a commitment to responsible AI
Yeah.
that goes beyond just profits.
Okay, so it sounds like they have a real opportunity here to step up,
They do.
be a leader,
Huge opportunity.
not just in terms of the technology, but in
Mhm.
terms of ethical leadership in the AI space.
That's precisely what's needed,
Okay.
by taking a proactive approach
Right.
to these ethical considerations.
Yeah.
Nvidia can really help steer the development of AI in a direction that benefits everyone.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered so much,
We have.
from NVIDIA's performance financially to the potential challenges they might face.
For sure.
And now these ethical considerations, it really seems like they're at a turning point.
What's so fascinating to me is how Nvidia's story
Yeah.
really mirrors this larger story about AI as a whole.
Oh, how so?
Well, I mean, we're witnessing the birth of a new technological era, right?
Yeah.
Full of potential,
Yeah.
but also a lot of uncertainty.
It's like they're standing at the edge of this uncharted territory.
A good way to put it.
And the path that they choose will not only determine their fate, but also the future of AI.
Yeah, no pressure.
It is a lot of responsibility,
It is.
and their choices are going to have huge consequences.
Yeah, no doubt.
So for our listeners, everyone who's been following along with us on this journey,
Right.
what are some of the key takeaways here?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay informed.
Okay.
This AI field is changing so fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
It really is.
Mm.
It's crucial to keep up with the latest developments,
Right.
the new trends, the debates.
So don't just rely on a single source of information.
Exactly.
Mm.
Read articles from different sources.
Right.
Listen to podcasts like ours.
Yeah.
Follow experts in the field.
Right. Get that well-rounded perspective.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Challenge assumptions.
Okay.
And think critically about the information you're consuming.
Right.
Be an active participant in this conversation,
Okay.
not just a passive observer.
Love it.
And finally, remember that AI isn't just this abstract thing.
Right.
It's something that's going to have a real impact on our lives.
Absolutely, on everyone's lives.
Right, society as a whole.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play
Right.
in shaping its future.
I agree.
And that starts with having these conversations
Yes.
about its potential and its risks.
So, what do you think?
Yeah.
What are your hopes and concerns about the future of AI?
Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Share your thoughts with us.
Yeah. And let's continue this conversation together.
It's been a pleasure exploring this complex and fascinating topic with you all. And as always, thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
See you next time.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a captivating subject. Until then, stay curious,